righty. We're here for a championship. Well, I guess it's Monday, but Championship Sunday happened yesterday between between Denver Patriots and Seahawks Rams. What a day that was yesterday. I'm your host, the most Aaron Cass. Here we have Christian Cruz from the Giant Topic. Make sure you guys follow that. And the Victor, Hollywood Ray, as he's repping the Patriots. So Hollywood Ray, how are you doing today?
Listen, I'm just glad to be part of the final two. I know that obviously every team, you want to be there in the end. The path does not matter. Like I said, we'll get into that. It's about you getting there and then obviously having a chance to win it. So obviously the second game was more intriguing than the first, but for different reasons. And we'll get into that. But yeah, just glad to be part of the final two, and hopefully history will repeat itself.
Okay, Christian, how you doing today? Obviously, our teams are not in because we're both Giants fans, but
yeah, I'm doing pretty good. It was nice to see at least one football game being played yesterday. I don't know about that one in Denver so much, but ultimately, I'm good, man. I think we saw some good football. I kind of wonder if after yesterday's game with New England, if people feel more swayed to go to the dome route when it comes to these new stadiums being built.
Ooh, all right. Let's get right into it then, because that's actually an interesting take. So, mind the graphics. My daughter made it, so out of respect for her, I left it on there. So, to quote, they were calling me washed, saying I didn't have it anymore. I just wanted to prove to myself I am who I say I am. That was Stephon Diggs going to his first Super Bowl. So I already know what Howard Ray's going to say about this. So we'll start with Christian first as the non-bias. So what did you think of this game? And did Sean Payton make the right call with his analytic take on the fourth down?
I don't personally agree with it. I feel like it shouldn't be as controversial as some people think, but I understand why it is. In terms of the game itself, though, I expected Denver's defense to come in and show out. They had a good game. They really terrorized Drake May. I expected Drake May to play better than what he did yesterday. I think just looking at just the stat numbers itself, like it doesn't look that good, but just the eye test itself, it did not look that great. Even before that blizzard, came through and kind of wrecked the game, if we're being honest. I had New England winning this game. I thought New England was the better team. Obviously, they don't have Bo Nix, but even with Bo Nix, I probably would have leaned New England. I thought Stidham did pretty good. Not playing a game in 2 years, I think it was. Prior to that game, I thought he did fairly solid. He did better than I thought he was going to do. To be honest with you, but I think Denver. I think they're going to have to, make some more adjustments offensively. Cortland Sutton, that's your number one wide receiver. For him to have only 17 yards and 1 touchdown, even prior to, Jared Stidham being named the starter, Sutton really hasn't done entirely too much this season to warrant that wide receiver 1 title. And then New England, I think Vrabel, has done a phenomenal job with the Patriots this year, taking one of the worst teams in the NFL last year, flipping them into a Super Bowl contender. That to me, I think that warrants a lot of praise. I think he is, if not tied with guys like Ben Johnson and maybe Mike McDonald for Coach of the Year, I think he might have the edge just because he took a worse roster to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I thought it was a decent game. Definitely not as exciting as Seattle, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Hollywood Ray, I texted you this, and it was kind of funny. So I believe it was the first quarter or beginning of second.
Beginning of the second, yeah.
Beginning of the second, yeah. Jared Stidham pulled a Tom Brady with a controversial call there, if it was a fumble or not. Now, you're saying it was a fumble. I was a little unsure, but did the rest get the call right?
I didn't think that he was outside the tackle box, which is why I thought it was a fumble, right? So I think they were showing that it was or whatever, something like that. But I didn't think he was outside the tackle box. That's why I was like, oh, this must be a fumble. But let me be clear, because this has been said on Twitter, and I'll reiterate what's been said. Um, this New England team faced 3 top 5 defenses to get to the playoffs. I mean, to get to the Super Bowl. That should not be overlooked. Period. It doesn't matter who was faced, not faced, Herbert, Stroud, whatever. Like, that's fine. You're playing the defense as well, because there's 2 sides of the ball, and we kept hearing about these defenses again. All the hype coming in, and Denver's really the only defense to me that really, really held their own against New England yesterday. Drake May at times looked lost out there. He had to win the game with his legs, and he did. Right? I didn't know if they would adjust and do that, because they've been hesitant to run him after what happened with him his rookie year with getting a lot of unnecessary hits. And you guys are dealing with that yourselves up in the Meadowlands, because you have a talented quarterback, but he has to protect himself. So I think that's what they were looking to do, with Drake May this year. But yesterday warranted that he had to run. He had to. You can't just sit here and say, okay, well, keep throwing it back, keep throwing it, and it may not work. Patrick Surtain was amazing yesterday afternoon. He showed why he's a top 5 corner, maybe even top 3 in the game. So Denver, on the surface, should have nothing to be upset about. Right? Be mad that you didn't make the Super Bowl, obviously, duh. But that team is loaded, and I believe they'll definitely be back in the same position. But it came down to, you asked the question to Christian about, did Sean Payton make the right decision? He did, given the circumstances. You got to think about it. They was already up 7-0, right? And I think in his mind, he's thinking, we may not have that many shots against this defense, against Drake May, against whatever they're doing over there on the other side. So let's go for the kill early. And I you know how I am. I'm with that. I love that. Now, obviously, it's going to get second guessed because it didn't work in a moment. But I think that once he hit that, I think that 50-yard pass to Mims, I believe.
Yeah.
He had caught a little bit of rhythm. So I think that they felt like, okay, he's catching a little bit of rhythm. He's got some confidence here. And the run game wasn't, overpowering with R.J. Harvey. Like, this wasn't a Terrell Davis or Orlandis Gary or a Clayton Portis or Mike Anderson walking through there. So that's some casual name drops there for those that haven't heard those names in a while.
A little Monte Ball action, too.
Who?
Little Monte Ball.
Monte Ball.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, Monte Ball. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So none of those guys were coming through there. Or even my guy, Sean Moreno. Shout out to the Bulldogs. So they had to do what they thought they had to do. And Sean Payton's always been aggressive, right? That's what, has gotten him the jobs. And that's what got them the Super Bowl, even against the Colts many years ago. So either way, New England made less mistakes than Denver, and that's what it boiled down to. Christian Gonzalez had his Gilmore moment. Remember Gilmore got his pick against Jacksonville in the NFC Championship game. Basically, Damien on that same play. No, I'm sorry, it was the Super Bowl. He got the pat down the knockdown against Jacksonville. He got the Super Bowl against the Rams. He got the pick.
Brandon Cooks too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So hopefully, I'm nervous about the matchup with JSN, but we'll get into that. But yeah, just on the surface, great defensive effort from Denver. But I'm just glad New England made less mistakes. It wasn't a day for me to be like, oh, you see what happened? Like, this is, we're used to this up here. We're used to getting to this point. I'm just glad that they have a shot to get another Super Bowl.
Yeah, we'll find out when we get a little bit of a preview. But Christian, so I want to ask you, in the first quarter, Denver was just running on all cylinders. Like the defense was doing well. They were going after Drake May. We saw where Campbell thought it was cool to try to do a nice little chop block. Didn't work out.
It didn't.
Even though he said he was supposed to protect his quarterback when he got drafted. Besides the Sean Payton trying to go for on fourth down, was there anything that Denver did that kind of just shifted the momentum? Because I actually thought Denver was gonna smoke New England, just the way they were playing.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely came off to a hot start, to be honest. But I don't think it's necessarily so much as what Denver did I think it's more of New England adjusting. If I'm being perfectly honest here, I thought New England adjusted well given the circumstances. You mentioned Will Campbell. Listen, I mean, I like Will Campbell as a prospect, but I think more and more those short arms are killing him, dude.
That's
They are
Justin Pugh
killing him.
2.0. Put him at the guard.
That's what I was going to say. I think he'd be an all-pro guard. As a left tackle, I don't see it happening. I think that they've been getting away with it for quite some time, but there have been games like yesterday where it kind of bit them in the ass a little bit. I mean, you're lined up against Nick Benito and those guys. They're going to give you hell regardless of who you have at your tackle position, but just the short arms. Also, on top of that, there were moments where I thought Drake May was holding onto the ball a little too long. But at the same time, I think a lot of times, because we are seeing a very solid season from Drake May, we're putting these veteran expectations on him. He's still a second-year player. He still has to learn. He still has to adjust to the game. So those tendencies of holding onto the ball too much, and it's not just in this game. There have been quite a few games this year. I think he'll learn from that. But ultimately, though, again, to answer your question, I don't think it was necessarily what Denver did. I thought it was a credit to Mike Vrabel and his coaching staff. I mean, I thought they adjusted very well, and New England, they got the edge on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Just got here from a source. Since we're talking about Will Campbell, he didn't allow a sack in the AFC Championship game. And the Broncos led the NFL in sacks. Interesting. I don't know. I just felt like I do think he is Justin Pugh 2.0. I have said it before when he was drafted. I think he'd be better at guard than tackle. But Hollywood Red knows better than me. So he's going to the Super Bowl.
I didn't say this much on here because I think by the time he was about to get drafted, we weren't back on the air yet on here. But I was just doing I'm missing the point. But I'm missing the point. This tape of it, I was screaming early on in the draft process. I said, "There's a kid in LSU." I said, "You got the quarterback. Go get the guy that can protect him." And I was screaming Will Campbell. I know people wanted Travis Hunter and some other guys. I was like, go get that guy, right? Now, yes, he didn't look like a rookie until the playoffs, right? And once again, going against Danielle Hunter, going against Will Anderson, going against I was about to say Sheldon Mack. I'm thinking about basketball, but going against Mack from LA, going against Bosa, and then obviously going against Benito and the rest of that crew from Denver. Yeah, you can get exposed because those guys are talented, right? And they're talented at what they do. But him, Gerald Wilson, Drake May, Henderson, like the rest of the guys, they have a bunch of first to second year guys. What I've noticed about them, and most times, because obviously they're gonna make mistakes, they usually don't make the same mistake twice, right? I don't disagree with what y'all saying though about the whole guard thing. I would still want to give him another year to tackle just to see how he progresses if he does. But if he does get moved inside to be a guard, as you guys are alluding to, you better be Larry Allen or you better be Steve Hutchinson. Like you better be one of those guys. Better be who was it for y'all? Was it David Deal? Whatever it was.
That was Chris Snead. Yeah.
Chris Snead. For Boston College. Yeah. Shout out to the Eagles. But you better be that. You better be that. If you get moved
inside,
I think
it was Justin Pugh. It's just as good.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, before we move on to the next game here, I just wanted to say I was a little disappointed in jet sweep Josh. I really thought he was going to put more Trayvon Henderson because he was an impact player for me that we discussed on Saturday. So, I mean, shout out to Ramondre Stevenson. I really thought he was going to fumble once the snow started coming down. So before we end it, Christian, what do you think? Is it football? Is it not football to play in domes in the playoffs, or is snow okay?
I mean, typically I don't mind the snow, but when I do think of the areas like Denver, New England, Green Bay, for instance, right, where the snow. I mean, Chicago too. I mean, the snow is just damn near unbearable. And I understand that it provides an advantage for the home team. I understand that some people believe that's football weather, like all good, but I don't want to see games decided by horse conditions like what we saw yesterday in Denver. Again, I've had New England winning this game regardless, but I mean, there was just some drives where they just looked unplayable. I mean, Drake May is slipping on the floor. You have players falling down, which, hey, I guess that's the advantage, right? But at the same time, it's like, one, I feel like it kind of hurts the product a little bit if we're talking about it from like a business standpoint. But ultimately, I don't know if I can just fully get on board with going for every team for a dome. I feel like it's kind of depend on your region, where you live at.
Yeah.
But you have guys like Robert Kraft who said he'll never get a dome. So we'll see what happens. But
Well,
I understand it from an advantage standpoint.
respectfully, I don't know if you've been up to Foxborough. Aaron
No, I
has.
haven't.
You don't want to.
Here we go. Gillette is just as nice as MetLife, but because I've been to both, so I can say that. But
You think MetLife is nice?
I don't think it's a bad stadium. I've been there for. Well, I haven't been there for a game. I was there for. What did I go there for? Oh gosh.
Probably SummerSlam.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have like a whole side of the fan base.
I went to WrestleMania.
So
I'm a WWE guy. We can talk about that if you are.
Yeah, continue. I didn't mean to cut you off. I have not heard someone say that because Aaron knows the hate that our stadium gets. So,
but you gotta think compared to playing in the old Giant Stadium. I mean,
I didn't go to that stadium.
You know, huh? Oh, you didn't go.
No.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So I'm just like that to me, or think about playing in Veterans Stadium, which is where Philly was. Like the link is much. It's just 10 times better. And I've been to each of those. Now, granted, I was there for WrestleManias, but I've been in those stadiums. And to me, I had a good time in MetLife personally. Like I said, it was wild to get out of there to get back into Penn Station.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
That was crazy,
that's
but other than that, it was fine. But no, the reason why I was saying about Foxborough as a town, like there, I don't know if there would be space to create all of that, like there. And I'm just like, once again, you lose the same thing with MetLife, right? Like you lose the element of what makes the Northeast special football wise if you put a dome there, right? That's why it's amazing to me that Syracuse has it inside like the Carrier Dome. Like that's is that where they play basketball? I forget, but either way, I know they're inside. I'm saying, why are you're Syracuse? Why are you inside? Like you take event. You should be a team that is dominating because you're in the elements. I don't know. To me, I feel like it should be retractable. Like how is it for a field? It should be retractable, but not necessarily closed all the way. To me, once you get on the road, you're not as good because. Okay, for instance, we saw it with the Colts, right? Remember how the Colts of the RCA Dome was damn near unstoppable.
Yep, went to the elements, and CJ Stroud was like, "I'm going to copy that."
So no one could stop Indianapolis in the Dome, right? For the most part, and they were putting up video game numbers, and then when they would go on the road, whether it be here in New England, whether it be, I think it was the Jets that beat them 41-0. Like that's crazy to me. That's one of the craziest games. I don't know. I don't mean to put you on the spot, Christian. Maybe if next week if we did like a thing of like top 10 like playoff games or whatever, like maybe we have you back on for that just to get like another off week content thing. But we can talk about it afterwards. But yeah, like I think that would be dope. That would be dope. But yeah, I don't know. I'd rather have the retractable dome. Like have the option for it, but keep it open for when it's snowing.
Well,
yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. No. Speaking of domes and stadium, I guess New England should be holding their breath because, actually, exhaling their breath because the 12-man stadium. My lord, that would be hard. And it's funny. Not one, not two, not three, not four, but 0-5 is Devontae Adams in NFC Championship games. Never made it to the Super Bowl. 0-5. So we're going to start off with JSN's coming out party. Hollywood Ray. I mean, my God. We have it right there on the screen. 10 receptions, 153 yards, a tutty. Sam Darnold looked absolutely unstoppable. He must have heard us last week talking bad about him at USC quarterbacks.
Right.
Like, what were your thoughts on this game?
Well, my first thought is to give you your flowers because you've been clamoring all playoffs about JSN being the guy and that he should be an MVP candidate. So give you that credit off top for just putting that out there once again. Not because it was a profound statement, but just because it deserved to be put out there. So shout out to you for that. He was special yesterday. He's been special all year, and it's amazing to me that he's the first quarterback from the 2018 class that we talk about that's in the Super Bowl. Jets fans have to be sick. Even though he wasn't.
I think they're more happy for Sam Darnold, not for the organization.
Sure. That's that, and I hope so. And once again, maybe just what they saw, right? They saw this, right? When they drafted him in 2018, they saw that he's someone that can get there, and do that. But it just wasn't in the cards there, unfortunately. But yeah, no, he's been awesome this season. I kept saying it's been different. It looked different in Seattle. It's amazing what a good defense can do for you as well. But as long as he has a really good number one, I guess you could say he's a a lot better version of Kirk Cousins.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not speaking wrong. That's kind of factual.
Yeah.
But
I didn't think I'd be saying that, but I mean that's just if we're gonna give our analyst take, we have to we have to give credit where it's due. So, but yeah, shout out to Seattle for winning. I said for my narrative, I wanted LA to win, so that we could beat Stafford, and who's the real MVP? But it's okay.
The only good thing is that the only good thing is that Hollywood Ray doesn't have to have two different jerseys for two different players. That's all. He doesn't have to have a Brady on one and a Matt Stafford on the other. So he's good. Now he can just exhale. Good to go. Christians, as you can see here, the Rams were 1 for 8 on third downs. Mm-hmm. They obviously were throwing the ball. I mean, what went wrong for them? They kind of pulled a Sean Payton. They must have just followed and said, I think we can do this. And they also went for it on fourth down and did make it. Like, was that the outcome of the game that kind of did like a trajectory? The Rams.
I think there were other factors as to why the Rams lost that were very prominent throughout their season. One, their special teams is, I'm not going to say god awful, but it's really bad.
Is it Giants football bad?
I would say it's close, if I'm being honest with you, Aaron. It is pretty bad. Sean McVay fired his special teams coordinator and that was right after the last time they played the Seahawks. Then just to have special teams issues again when you're playing the Seahawks, like it's just kind of it's a full circle laugh in your face kind of moment for me. But I think it was a mixture of that. I think it was a mixture of the Rams secondary. We could talk about the defense as a whole, but the Rams secondary needs to be bolstered up this offseason. I give a lot of credit to Chris Shula and the guys over there for having this defense, with the talent that it has, which it's made up of a lot of late round picks, some undrafted rookies on there. Obviously, you have Versk and Fisk on there. You have Emmanuel Forbes, who's seen a little bit of a resurgence in his career. But after that, I mean, there's a lot that leaves to be desired with that Rams defense. So I think, and that's kind of been an issue with them all season. Jared Verse, I kind of saw something last night that made me really laugh, if I'm being honest. There were people putting Jared Verse in top 10 conversations. And then you go and you look, and that boy only had 4 sacks last year. So it's like, only 4, well, it was 4.5. But, Jared Verse has been fairly quiet this postseason, if I'm being honest. But ultimately, I don't know if it was offensively. Offensively, they were having their way. with Seattle's defense, even though Seattle's defense was, I think, the best unit out there last night, outside of maybe Seattle's offense. So I got to give credit to Matthew Stafford. I mean, you look at the numbers here: 58 plays, 479 yards. I mean, they was doing their thing out there, and so was obviously Seattle. But ultimately, I think it came down to that secondary, and I think it came down to the special teams unit as to why the Rams lost.
Yeah, and I actually love that Reek Woolen was basically talking to Matthew Stafford on the sideline, like basically like, yeah, like what up? And then he throws to Puka Nacua for a touchdown and erased everything. So I thought that was pretty funny. I did like though that Cooper Kupp got a touchdown against his former team, former Super Bowl champion for the Rams. But I will say this: that was a controversial 3rd and 8 with 3:20 left. So Highly Ray, did you think that was a first down?
No. And I just felt like they I feel like they didn't want to like change it or return it. But it was. I don't think it was. But I think that they had to. I don't know. I think to keep the script going, they had to make sure that they didn't change that or reverse that call. But it is what it is. The Rams have already been a part of some wild calls in the NFC Championship game. So
let's just add it on to the list.
Yeah, exactly. Insane.
I think what's insane is that I feel like Matthew Stafford has like a year or two left in a way. Like I could be overreacting just because it's Matthew Stafford, but where do the Rams go from here? I'll start off with Christian first.
I think ultimately it's going to come down to, does Stafford come back? Even if Stafford does come back, they have to address that position in some way or form. Even if it's for like a Band-Aid. I'm not saying go out there and use that first round pick that you have with Atlanta on a quarterback. But I would say maybe in the second, third round, I would take a shot. And then ultimately in 2027, you are going to have to take a quarterback. Now, there's been some people that think that there's some hypothetical world where Joe Burrow ends up becoming a Ram. I don't know if that happens, but that would be crazy.
So, yeah. Well, sorry. Before you go any further, there was a rumor out there, but apparently, don't be surprised if Joe Burrow becomes a Minnesota Viking.
You think so?
Don't be surprised.
What would they give up? That's the thing. I know we're talking about the Seahawks, but this, I don't
know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what they would give up as far as picks or a player, but obviously there's the Justin Jefferson connection, obviously because they played together in college. But yeah, I just don't be surprised if that happens. That would be crazy, obviously, if it did. But for so many reasons, it makes sense. It just does. It makes so much sense for him to play there with Justin Jefferson, with Jordan Addison, with Aaron Jones. Like I think Hawkinson's still there, I believe. Like I think they would do. Now we were kids, but what we saw in the '98 team with Moss, Carter, Robert Smith, Jim Kleinsasser, like that group, like we would see that type of offense if he went there next year.
I mean, it would definitely benefit him if he was able to leave for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sorry, Aaron, to kind of answer your question a little bit. Obviously, outside of addressing quarterback, they're going to have to be aggressive defensively. I think, offensively, I mean, you have Adams there for another year. You still have Puka Nacua there. I like Kyron Williams. I think their offensive line could use a little bit of work, but I think that priority should be the defense this offseason. Get some guys to bolster up your secondary. You can't run it back. You can make an argument that they were one of the reasons why you lost this game against Seattle, and previous matchups with Seattle as well.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think quarterback, figure out what's going to happen with Stafford, attack the secondary, and you have a ton of capital right now on the draft, so you should be able to fill up a lot of your holes.
Yeah, one last question before we get into like a semi Super Bowl preview, but not really, is Clint Kubiak. basically reincarnating Sam Darnold. They went out and got him for a 3-year deal. Obviously, you see right there on the screen like how good Sam Darnold was in this game. How much money can Clint Kubiak get from Seattle to keep him there as a coordinator rather than going to like the Browns, Vegas, Buffalo, or anything like that? Hollywood Ray.
So this may be a stupid question, but I'll ask. Why would he leave at this moment?
Exactly. That's my whole point of the question.
You feel me? Like why? So now, if you tell me that I get a chance to coach Josh Allen, okay, that'd be hard to pass. I'll just keep it real. Because Josh Allen is that good. He's just about to turn 30, so it's not like he's way out of his prime. He's probably just entering it. So, but I'm not going to Cleveland. And once again, it ain't even about the living situation. It's about the team. And you have to deal with so much that just hasn't happened, in that city. Like the Atlanta job's taken. I think what else? Obviously, you guys have your new coach. Obviously, now it's funny, right? If I was y'all, now, Grant, I know Harbaugh brought his guy up there with him. I would have hollered at Clint Kubiak and said, "Hey, what you did with Sam Darnold, I need you to do with Jackson Dart." I think y'all would be in business personally, but
they still can. Tom Munkin isn't official.
Yeah, I would look into that personally if I was y'all. But other than that, once again, I do think in a few years we're gonna look at Jackson Dart. And this is the next thing I'll say about y'all until otherwise. I think in a few years, maybe as soon as next year, we're gonna see Jackson Dart as one of those guys. It's like, hey, if you're coming into the Meadowlands, you went for a dogfight. I think he'd be that good personally. Which pisses me off to say, but it's the truth. I have to give my analyst take, and so my heart is saying, f them boys, but no, it's I gotta give credit where it's due. But yeah, why would he leave? And once again, you just got to the bowl. I can see if they went 5-12 and Sam Darnold had a great season, and you're like, all right, you know what? Let me go elsewhere to expand my coaching horizon. But they just got to the ship, and Sam Darnold is balling. Once again, the last 2 years, he's been on fire. So I would stay if I'm him. But like I said, unless it's Buffalo, or if y'all call in New York saying, hey, we'll give you the highest paid OC job, and you have full control over the offense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I guess one last thing. So Sean McVay, obviously Chris Shula's looking at some jobs. Mike LaFleur, I think, is visiting Arizona today. Like, how much more can Sean McVay not get rid of assistants, but like have them move on to other greater pastures? Like, is Sean McVay that kind of coach that can just keep retooling and readapting with different coordinators, almost like a Nick Saban type, but in the NFL level?
I think it's possible. I mean, you've seen guys like John Harbaugh adapt, right? He's had a lot of defensive coordinators come in and come out through the Baltimore Ravens. I think it's possible. I think at this stage in Sean McVay's career, I feel like he's kind of have that mastered. How many years have we seen people pluck, whether it's coordinators, whether it's O-line coaches, defensive line coaches, secondary coaches off of them? I mean, I feel like Sean McVay deserves a lot of credit for being able to adapt in those situations. Same with Kyle Shanahan as well. So I think at this point he's kind of mastered it at this point, and I feel like he's such a forward thinker that he's already planning for certain people to leave the organization within the next couple of years. So I wouldn't be shocked if he already has people lined up for when those things take place.
Yeah, absolutely. Any final thoughts for this game before we kind of just close it out?
I mean, no, I got similar thoughts to, like I said, even with the I said about Denver, right? LA should not walk away. Once again, be upset that you lost, and go through that process. But McVay has gotten a lot out of these guys the last few years, and they've been perennial contenders the last 7 or 8 years. So with obviously getting to the Super Bowl twice and winning it, and being into a few NFC championship games. So, but like I said, Christian said it perfectly a few moments ago. They have to address the QB position. I don't know who they get though, because I don't know. I don't even know who's coming. I mean, obviously they're not getting the kid from Indiana. They're not getting Mendoza.
Excuse me. They have a 2-time NCAA Georgia football champion, Stetson Bennett, as their backup. Is that not good enough?
Stop.
Is that not good enough?
Stop it. Cut it out. Stop it. I forgot he was even still in the league. Stop it. Stop it. He's no different than what's the other dude that came through there when he was younger? AJ something. No, not AJ. No, yeah, AJ Murray, right? AJ Murray.
It's Aaron Murray, but yes.
Aaron Murray. Yeah, please. He's no different than him. Like no different.
Yeah, he has 2 NCAA championships, so he is very different.
Listen, you were Christian could have won at quarterback in that on that team. Okay, those Georgia teams are loaded, and half of them are in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Bulldogs. Everybody from that championship team is on the Eagles.
Pretty true.
It's unbelievable. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, no, they need. To me, I would love to see Sean McVay work with Arch Manning. I would love that. I think he would do wonders under Sean McVay.
I think it would be interesting.
So, but you have to wait till next year. After he comes, is he coming out this year? Or he come on next year?
No, he is not. Next year, his dad has said so. 4 years, and then you can go to the pros.
That's dumb. It's
dumb. The Manning way. Don't worry about them.
Respectfully, it's a different time, and if we're being real, Payne, actually, really both of them, Eli too. They could have came out after. Well, Eli came out this junior year too. He didn't come out after his senior year. He came out his junior year. That's not true. He came out after his junior year.
Well, apparently it's the Cooper Manning way. So I don't know.
Yeah, Well, I mean, Grant, I know that I think he's the one that had the injury, but I'm like, hey, Dad, respectfully, you're the only one that didn't make it to the league. Like,
wow.
I got this. So, that's wild. But I don't know. On a side note, I want to see who ends up getting Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State the following year because he's that's a special talent at wide receiver. So I wonder who gets him.
Me too.
Me too. Yeah, I think any team would be happy to get him. In all honesty, he's from the 305, so you know how it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. He's Geno Smith's cousin.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't think we have anything else left, so we can kind of end it on that note. So we'll get into our final thoughts. I'll start off with Christian first.
Final thoughts. I have 2 final thoughts actually. I think this Super Bowl is going to be fun. I think it's going to be. I honestly, I might sound a little crazy. I think it's going to be high powering. I think it's going to be a high score game. I'm very intrigued to see how does Clint Kubiak draw up some schemes against Mike Vrabel's defense, and I'm interested to see how does Drake May, go against this Seattle's defense. I think, if he can complete the gauntlet, then I think a lot of more people will respect Drake May and the road to get into the Super Bowl. If they don't win it, then I don't think that's a stand on Drake May at all. Ultimately, and I think it's going to be a good Super Bowl. I'm sure we'll talk about it. And then, secondly, to end it off here for me, I think we got to start putting guys like JSN and Puka in the Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase conversations.
Ooh, that's a sizzling take, but I like it though.
I mean, it's Jamar, Justin, whoever you want out, between the two, and then JSN and Puka, whoever you want at the two. They're all 4 of them. Like I would say, it's like tiers. So like this is Jetta and Jamar Chase, and then this is Puka. They're so interchangeable between the 4 players in their brackets. It really don't matter. I'm not going to argue with someone that says they'll take Puka over JSN. I'm not going to argue with someone if they said JSN over Puka. Same thing with Jetta over Jamar and vice versa. The league's in good hands.
Yeah, absolutely. Hollywood Ray.
Yeah, no, just once again, just sad that football is coming to an end. after February 8th. But like I said, just still happy to be in the final two. Even though I don't know if it's going to be permanent or not, but I love the dynamic you bring to the show, Christian. So this is maybe a little pitch to keep. It's a little pitch to keep coming on. So I'm putting you on the spot on air.
we don't have NIL money, so don't.
Yeah, we
don't.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
We are UMass. We are UMass. We are not.
Yeah, we're Coach Cal, right? We're Coach Cal.
We could definitely talk about it for sure.
Yeah, you know what knows. But yeah, no. So yeah, excited about that, and you know the dynamic you brought. But you know, on a personal note, listen, the worst nightmare is back, baby. You know what? I need that on a t-shirt, Aaron. I need it on a t-shirt. Your worst nightmare is back. So I know you can make those. Right? Yeah. So your worst nightmare is back. And you probably go around the back. But I'm excited, man. Listen, there's just nothing like having you know, a Boston team in the championship because it's what people love to hate, and that great. I love being a villain. It's awesome. But as always, Black Lives Matter, not when it's convenient for you.
Yeah,
yes,
I just don't like that. Like these closeted New England fans are coming out saying like, "Yeah, New England's like, no, we haven't seen you."
Well, you know that ain't me. So
yeah, I never said it was you, but I'm just saying like I just see them out of the woodwork now. Like they've been New England Patriot fans since like Kevin Falk, if you want to go like that, or Corey Dillon. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, but quick aside for that, right? That's the issue is it was the same thing. You know, I'm at Fenway too, right? That was the same thing with the Red Sox this year when they obviously started to catch fire. You know, Sadon's my guy, and you know we got Bregman and this and this. And it's like, yo, you wasn't in the trenches when we was 73 and 89, bro. Like, don't do that. Like, don't do that. Be if you go rock with them. And obviously, you know they made the playoffs, but yeah, I don't know. We call them pink hats up here. It sucks though because like you said, they came out of nowhere, and now everyone wants to beat their chest. But I'm like, nah. Some of us been beating their chest all along, and once again, they back where they're supposed to be.
Boy, I'm gonna put what you said, and on the back of it, I'm gonna put Jason Tatum is a homeless man.
Okay, that's fine.
But so
we can get Rose on him for that.
Yeah. So also to make sure, I mean, they don't go live. They should go live stream because I mean they're all Patriot fans. And make sure you guys check out Missing the Point on all socials. They'll be recording tonight, which should be coming out tomorrow or Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Tomorrow, Wednesday. Yeah. Kind of just depends on the producer, see what he does. And make sure, too, you follow at The Giant Topic on all media platforms. YouTube, that's not Instagram, but Twitter. Check out all of that. It's pretty good Giant stuff. They have some new segments going on because Christian found I think a pretty good co-host for what he's doing on some side hustles for the Giants. So check that out as well. Make sure you follow us on all socials. I put it right there for you guys. Twitter _fake analyst, TikTok fake football analyst, and obviously subscribe, hit the little bell button that goes ding. Got a lot more content coming up just because the Super Bowl is going to come and then it's going to end. We're not going to be on. We're still going to be on doing episodes and stuff like that. So make sure you guys check that out. And as always, Black Lives Matter. I'm your host of the most Aaron Cast. We have Christian Cruz from Giant Topic, Hollywood Ray, and we will see you when we see you. Peace.